Batman and the Joker. The rivalry between Batman and the Joker, first crystallized in Batman number 1, 1940, is one of the most iconic in comic book history. Batman, shaped by a childhood tragedy, dedicates himself to justice, discipline, and an unwavering moral code that forbids him from killing. The Joker, on the other hand, embodies chaos, gleefully breaking moral and societal norms. Gotham City becomes their battleground, a stage where Batman's methodical detective work clashes with the Joker's unpredictable violence. Classic tales like The Killing Joke, 1988, and A Death in the Family, 1988 to 1989, epitomize how the Joker attacks not just Gotham, but those closest to Batman, from Commissioner Gordon to Robin, forcing the Dark Knight into existential quandaries. Each confrontation tests Batman's restraint and challenges the belief that order can outlast anarchy. Their conflict is, at its core, a duel of philosophies. Batman stands for law and restraint, while the Joker laughs at the notion of morality itself. This ever-escalating tension makes their relationship a hypnotic cycle of pursuit and provocation, with the fate of Gotham's soul always in the balance. Superman and Lex Luthor. From their beginnings in Action Comics number 23, 1940, Superman and Lex Luthor have represented a fundamental clash of ideals. Superman, an alien with godlike abilities, chooses to use his gifts selflessly. Lex Luthor, once portrayed as a mad scientist and later reimagined as a power-hungry billionaire, sees Superman's presence as an affront to human potential. To Lex, humanity should ascend on its own merits, free from the shadow of a near-omnipotent savior. Their conflict is deeply philosophical, highlighted in stories like All-Star Superman, 2005 to 2008. Superman's humility and compassion only fuel Lex's resentment, as Luthor believes that if Superman did not exist, people might push themselves harder, evolve, and achieve greatness without reliance on an alien protector. In countless battles, both physical and intellectual, their rivalry showcases the tension between altruism and ambition. It asks whether humanity's ceiling is raised or lowered by the presence of a being who can move mountains. Ultimately, their ongoing struggle transcends mere hero versus villain tropes, encompassing the fate of what humankind chooses to admire, follow, and become. Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, emerged in Amazing Spider-Man number 14, 1964, as a mysterious criminal before his identity was dramatically unmasked. Unlike many adversaries who challenge Spider-Man on a physical or intellectual level alone, the Green Goblin strikes at Peter Parker's heart. While Peter began as a humble kid from Queens turned vigilante after personal tragedy, Norman Osborn is a privileged magnate whose twisted psyche finds release in the Goblin's mania. Their rivalry cemented into legend with the night Gwen Stacy died, 1973, a storyline that shattered the hero's illusion of safety and hope. The Goblin's killing of Gwen Stacy transcended comic book convention, proving villains could inflict lasting damage. Where Spider-Man represents responsibility, empathy, and perseverance, the Goblin channels corruption, power, lust, and personal vendettas. This seesaw of wills pits the integrity of a friendly neighborhood hero against a malignant force that attacks his very soul. The moral agony Peter endures, forced to face tragedies orchestrated by someone who knows his identity, makes their conflict a deeply human and emotionally charged narrative. Iron Man and the Mandarin. Debuting in Tales of Suspense number 50, 1964, the Mandarin stands as Iron Man's greatest test, both technologically and ideologically. Tony Stark is a futurist fueled by scientific brilliance and Western industrial optimism. The Mandarin, wielding 10 alien rings, represents age-old mysticism, authoritarian power, and a philosophy that technology should serve as an instrument of fear and dominance. Their conflict, originally molded by Cold War-era sensibilities, evolved over time into a more nuanced contest between progress and tradition, reason and superstition. The Mandarin's challenge isn't just physical, he subverts Stark's belief in technological emancipation. For every suit Tony builds, the Mandarin's mystical powers and centuries-old cunning counter with a reminder that innovation alone cannot solve the world's ancient dilemmas. Stories and adaptations, from classic comics to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maintain this ideological tug-of-war, asking whether humanity's salvation lies in forging boldly ahead or respecting the formidable legacies of the past. The Flash and the Reverse Flash. Barry Allen's heroism as the Flash stands for optimism, altruism, and the belief that extraordinary power should serve the greater good. Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, first introduced in The Flash, number 139, 1963, originates from a future where he once idolized Barry. That adoration curdled into obsession and then hatred, leading Thawne to travel through time to undermine every triumph in Barry's life. Their rivalry transcends the normal constraints of time and space. With the power of the Speed Force at their disposal, their battles ripple across centuries. Storylines like Flashpoint 2011 show Thawne's capacity to alter entire timelines, forcing Barry to contend not just with a powerful nemesis, but with existential threats that rewrite history. The Reverse Flash's vendetta is personal. He wants to dismantle Barry's legacy, leaving him broken and hopeless. It's a conflict that ventures beyond good versus evil into the realm of fate and free will, making Barry Allen's struggle against Thawne one of comics' most psychologically complex and temporally expansive feuds. Wonder Woman and Ares. From her debut in Wonder Woman number 1, 1942, Diana of Themyscira represented peace, compassion, and the power of love to overcome hatred. Ares, the god of war, stands at the opposite end of this moral spectrum. He thrives on violence, stoking humanity's darkest impulses. Where Wonder Woman sees potential and virtue in humankind, Ares insists that conflict is mankind's natural state. Their clashes are mythic in scope and philosophical in depth. Modern interpretations such as the Wonder Woman 2017 film frame Ares as not just a physical antagonist, but a manipulator who reveals humanity's capacity for cruelty. Defeating Ares requires Diana to reaffirm her faith in empathy and kindness, even when the world seems dominated by aggression. Their rivalry highlights an eternal question: is war an unavoidable part of life, or can love and understanding steer civilizations toward harmony? The Hulk and the Leader. Gamma radiation gave Bruce Banner immense strength and rage as the Hulk. For Samuel Stearns, it bestowed super intelligence, elevating him to the Leader. Introduced in Tales to Astonish number 62, 1964. Their rivalry epitomizes the conflict between raw power and cold, calculating intellect. The Hulk's brute force can topple mountains, but the Leader orchestrates intricate plans, manipulating events from the shadows. This battle of extremes questions what true strength means. The Leader's grand designs challenge Hulk's primal reactions, testing whether a heroic heart can prevail when brute might meets cunning. The Leader exploits Banner's constant struggle to control his alter ego, weaving complex scenarios to push the Hulk to his limits. Often, these confrontations reflect on the dangers of unchecked power, whether physical or mental, by forcing Hulk to rise above mere anger. These struggles shape Banner's journey toward understanding his own identity, ultimately suggesting that true heroism lies in balancing intelligence with compassion, strength with wisdom. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and Sinestro. Hal Jordan's tenure as a Green Lantern began with Sinestro as his mentor, introduced in Green Lantern number 7, 1961. Once the Corps' finest member, Sinestro's fall from grace stemmed from his belief that fear, not willpower, would best maintain order. Exiled and vengeful, he forged the Sinestro Corps, harnessing the yellow light of fear to enforce his iron grip on the universe. Their rivalry is both personal betrayal and cosmic debate. Hal insists that people can choose courage over fear, forging better futures through will and hope. Sinestro believes terror is the ultimate deterrent, an unassailable tool for stability. Sagas like the Sinestro Corps War immerse readers in vast interstellar conflicts that mirror ideological struggles seen on Earth. Sinestro is not a villain who delights in chaos. He aims for a twisted form of peace. This nuance makes their conflict poignant, demonstrating that well-intentioned extremes can lead heroes and mentors down opposing paths. The result is a dramatic clash that questions whether it's better to inspire greatness or to enforce compliance through fear. Thor and Loki. Thor and Loki's rivalry, drawn from Norse myths and re-envisioned in Journey into Mystery number 85, 1962, is a family drama elevated to cosmic stakes. Thor, the noble god of thunder, exemplifies honor, strength, and duty. Loki, the god of mischief, resents his brother's acclaim and status, weaving deceptions and schemes to prove himself superior or to topple Asgard altogether. Their conflict is rooted in sibling rivalry, jealousy, and complex bonds bonds of love and hate. Thor seeks to protect Asgard, Midgard, Earth, and the cosmic order, while Loki tests boundaries, breaks rules, and manipulates allies and enemies alike. Over time, stories like Thor, Ragnarok, and the Avengers portray Loki as a figure torn between malice and a longing for acceptance. This intricate relationship makes their battles resonate on a human level. Triumph for Thor isn't just besting an enemy, it's holding out hope that his brother can be redeemed. Their eternal dance between heroism and treachery underscores that even gods grapple with loyalty, forgiveness, and the ache of unmet expectations. Black Panther and Killmonger, introduced in Jungle Action number 6, 1973. Eric Killmonger's vendetta against Wakanda's royal family resonates as a moral and cultural dilemma. T'Challa, the Black Panther, inherits a nation rich in resources and traditions, guarding its prosperity by maintaining isolation. Killmonger, a Wakandan exile who grew up experiencing systemic injustice, sees Wakanda's secrecy as betrayal. He believes its power should be shared, by force if necessary, to uplift the oppressed. Their conflict is a poignant examination of privilege, legacy, and moral responsibility. In the Black Panther 2018 film, their ideological standoff becomes a global debate. Should a powerful nation remain hidden or champion the downtrodden beyond its borders? T'Challa wrestles with duty to his ancestors and moral obligations to the world, while Killmonger's rage stems from legitimate grievances. Doctor Strange and Dormammu. Dr. Stephen Strange's transformation from an arrogant surgeon to the Sorcerer Supreme sets him on a path of mystical guardianship, while Dormammu, introduced in Strange Tales number 126, 1964, looms as the ultimate cosmic threat. Dormammu is an entity of immeasurable power, ruler of the dark dimension, who seeks to consume all realities. Strange stands for enlightened self-restraint and protection of Earth's plane, while Dormammu thrives on chaos and conquest. Captain America and Red Skull. Captain America and Red Skull emerged against the backdrop of World War II, with Steve Rogers wielding the shield of freedom against Johann Schmidt's embodiment of fascistic cruelty. The Red Skull, introduced in Captain America Comics number 7, 1941, was crafted to personify the Nazi regime's darkest ideologies, and later evolved to lead Hydra as a symbol of totalitarian oppression extending into the modern age.